Questions for Carlos? Tony?
What's the update on Christian Scott?
Yeah, I think relatively good news here. UCL sprain. He's gonna be shut down for 2 weeks, and then we're gonna ramp him back up. So, I think, like I said, good news so far.
Did they give an indication of what exactly the sprain is in terms of, stretching, a little bit of the tear?
I didn't get all the details. I was just relieved that the fact that he's only gonna be shut down for a couple of weeks, and then we'll build him back up. So, but I was told we just the information there and the sprain. So.
Team in the back.
What is the expectation level regarding Scott pitching again this season?
I expect him. Obviously, we gotta wait the next 2 weeks and then see how he progresses when we start building back up. But from what I was told, talking to the trainers and even with Scotty, we feel pretty good with him being back here. Something before the year's over.
And is this a big sigh of relief because it's not the worst news, or is it a let's see how this goes and we'll see what happens?
I mean, we see it as a positive sign. The fact that he's only going to be shut down for 2 weeks, because every time you send a pitcher for an MRI because he complains about the elbow, you never know what you're going to get, right? So, yeah, I think relief. But we just got to wait.
Will?
Hey Carlos, have you guys settled on a plan yet for the rotation with him out and with Senga back on Friday?
No, we're TBA for Saturday. So we go Sevi, Senga, Peterson on Sunday. So we need to start for Saturday. It was gonna be Scotty obviously. So we'll see where we at when we get there.
Manny?
Is there any concern with Christian Scott, considering that this is something he dealt with last year? Like, are you guys worried that this could possibly be something that continues to recur throughout?
It's hard to tell, and that's why we've been trying to protect him and monitoring pitch counts and things like that, and making sure that the recovery in between outings. But as far as concerned, we don't know. It's hard to predict. So I think we just got good news here.
Zach?
Francisco Alvarez has struggled a little bit here. Talked about chasing more than he would like. What have you noticed just in his at-bats of late?
Yeah, I think he's just missing his pitches, But I thought that series in Miami, he took a couple of swings where I was like, all right, that's how he's supposed to look, even though he fouled them off. But maybe a little long at times. But again, the past couple of games in Miami, I saw something there that I feel like he's gonna get there. So not worried at all. He's a good hitter. So yeah.
You can I follow up?
Yep.
You sat him 2 of the last 3 days. Was that just feeling like maybe he needed kind of a breather, like he looked tired to you, or?
No, it was. I wasn't gonna play him 3 days in a row coming out of the break, and then us getting here so late after he caught the whole nine innings, and then the late arrival. I wasn't gonna play him yesterday, so that was all to it.
Tony?
If you choose to start Budo in Scott's place, is he essentially off limits tonight, or at what point do you sort of have to make that decision?
We'll see. We got options, and we just got to get through Thursday, Friday, and see where we at. But yeah, we'll stay day by day, and we'll do what we got to do to win today's game, and we'll go from there.
I guess what I'm asking is, to what extent does Budo's candidacy to start that game depend on how much you need him?
Yeah, I think I don't know if we'll commit to him starting on Saturday, because we might need to use him, before we get there. So.
Dave?
Carlos, you had seen Cole at his best for a number of years when you were with the Yankees. You saw him in his first start back last time at Citi Field. How did that version of Cole compare to when you had seen him at his best?
He was just coming off the injury and the downtime that he had, and we were pretty aggressive with his fastball. But then when you watch the last 2 outings, he's on. I watched the last 2, watching film, and he's back to be the guy that we all seen. So we'll be ready for him. Yeah, he's on.
Joe, what do you do?
Thank you. Carlos, you're on the verge here of a season sweep in the Subway Series. That's only happened one time for the Mets. How does that feel, especially considering it's against your former team?
I mean, you're here to win games, you know, whether it's a Subway Series or not. Our job, our mentality is take it one day at a time. And, you know, here we are, game 2 of a 2-game set. Yeah, so I think it's just the mindset of continuing to win games and take it one day at a time. Yeah, nice 3-0, right? But I didn't know that. But yeah, look, where we at on the schedule, you know, you play the teams that you're supposed to play and you do whatever you can to try to take care of business.
Peter.
After 4 months without Senga, just how does it feel to finally be getting him back, and just how much of a boost is it for this rotation?
Yeah, it feels really good. Going into a year, you know, we thought he was number 1, right? And then early in spring training, he goes down, and here we are, late July, and finally to get him back, it's good for him because he's been anxious to get out there and help the team, but for the team as well, for the boys. You know, they saw him last year, so yeah, he's huge for us.
And just beyond him being a good pitcher, just the fact that he's such a unique pitcher, just how much does that, I guess, help as well?
Yeah, it helps. You know, he's really good. I don't think I've seen him pitch live because we never, you know, when we played when we faced the Mets last year, we never faced him. So I'm excited to watch him pitch.
Roger.
When you were describing the way that you sort of handled the bullpen last night, it sounded like, you know, you had to make some decisions in the middle and play your instinct some and, you know, see what happened. How often for you is that the case, and how often are you more sticking with a game plan that you came up before the game, or one of the game plans you came up with before the game?
Yeah, I don't know that there's ever a time where you go with a game plan and you want to stick to it. Every time you're making an adjustment, because the game unfolds and you have to adjust. You have a pretty good idea going into it, you know, because of what you have available and the lineup you're facing and potential pinch hitters. But there's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, you got to use both. You use your information, you know, you prepare, you have an idea, but then you have to make adjustments. So yeah, that's how I approach every game.
Also, earlier Aaron Boone was saying that he feels like this week before the trade deadline is an exciting time for the sport. You know, as a first-year manager and as a team that, you know, is potentially going to be a player in this, how is it for you?
Well, look, we put ourselves in a better position compared to where we were at in May. So yeah, you know, there's going to be a lot of rumors and there's a lot of noise, you know. But the fact that we put ourselves in a better position, but at the end of the day, our job is, I'm managing the 26 guys. Our guys have to come in, prepare, and go out there and compete and try to continue to win games, you know, and let David and his staff do the work. But it's this time of the year in baseball, you know, there's excitement and there's rumors, there's noise, but our job is one day at a time, continue to win baseball games.
Tim.
Along those lines, how much does David keep you in the loop on what he's looking at, conversations the front office is having, things like that?
A lot. We talk a lot, you know, whether it's David, Eduardo, or, you know, whoever from the front office. We continue to have conversations, so they keep me in the loop. But again, I mean, as a bench coach, you know, you're always, you know, I was in the loop as well, and there's no difference. There's fluid conversations, but, you know, there's a lot going on, and sometimes things happen, sometimes things don't happen. So, but yeah, the communication with Dave is not just because of where we are on the season. Since day one, I mean, there's always conversation, there's always dialogue, there's always the back and forth there. So there's not different now.
And separately, with Reid-Foley pitching tomorrow in the minors, what's the sense on how long of a rehab outing he'll need?
Good thing you brought his name, because he's not pitching in Brooklyn. He's going to throw an live VP. So
Okay.
he'll throw a live VP in Citi Field. I think mechanics-wise, he felt like he was a little off the last time he faced hitter. So we decided to, so he'll face hitters in Citi Field tomorrow, and then hopefully Sunday he'll go to Brooklyn. But so yeah.
And then, I guess same question. How many appearances do you guys feel he needs, especially with what will be 2 live VPs before the minors?
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes tomorrow before we can take the next step, which is hopefully in Brooklyn on Sunday, and then 2 days later, maybe he's pitching another one, and then we'll see where we are after that.
All right. Thank you very much, Carlos. Appreciate it.